we come to you on Mondays to talk about ideas that you probably have that you probably haven't implemented because you need some support on execution. So a lot of the times we all have ideas, but we either one keep them in our heads and then we don't write them down. And then sometimes, of course, as you guys know, if you've been coached before, you've wrote things down in a notebook, but you didn't have an execution plan, meaning that you didn't write down like what steps you're going to do the next day. Are you going to unpack everything or debrief yourself on what are the main goals that you want to do? Because, of course, on your list, you wrote down everything, but we know that we can't do everything all at once. So, some of the things that usually work is you have to look at what it's going to take to actually move you forward, not just doing things that are on the list. Because sometimes things are on the list, you haven't done one thing, so you can't move on to another thing. So, case in point, if you are a coach and you're going to be coaching people, the first thing you definitely want to do, besides getting your business name, all of that business startup, okay, that's a given. But the one of the first things you want to do is you need to have a platform or a place where people can go and see what services you have. That's really important. And I know a lot of times that is the biggest hang up for people is for having like a platform or a website or a landing or something. And of course, I got the volume up on my phone so I can hear everything that comes through. So don't trip on that. So the thing is that you want to be sure that you're focusing in on the things that you need to say or have where people can find you. That's the first thing, because usually people are doing things at odd hours of the night and you're on different time zones. Um, and you want them to be able to kind of look you up or look what they want to find out about what your services are on their own, because sometimes they're not necessarily wanting to talk to you. And that's something that we have to kind of keep in mind. People don't always want to talk to you in the beginning. They want to talk to you in the end, like when they're ready to move forward, but they don't want to talk to you. They want to go and see something that you're doing, seeing whatever project you're working on or what artwork or what have you. But they want to see and see some samples of stuff that you're doing. So then they can see how they would fit into your environment, which is fine because people do need to match up well because that's how you work well with each other. So when you have something that people could at least find out where you are, then that gives them the opportunity to look at what you have to see how it fits for them so that they can move forward to the next step. So you're going to give people the support they need in order for them to satisfy the needs that they have so then they can move on to the next step. So if you have a website or a landing page or what have you, and you say what services you provide, and then you say what it is you're going to do for them, and I would take, for those of you guys who are aware, is some results based accountability, meaning that what are you going to do for them? How are you making their lives better? What factors are you changing? So what is the outcomes? What are their outcomes? So if you have things like that on what you're going to do for them, how you're going to help them, how are you going to make their lives better with the service you provided? How are their lives going to change any differently with what you're giving them? If you have some of that information on your site or landing page, you enable them to be able to make a decision on moving forward with you. So that's what you want to do. You want people to kind of get to know, like, and trust you. That's the first thing. They have to see what you're doing in order to know. And to like, they look at your personality type. They look at how you interact and what you say and how you do it. Or even when things are bad, how do you speak on things? Like if something isn't going well for you, how do you rationalize it? How do you come with some type of determination on how you're going to unpack it or deal with it? Those are things that are very key, even when things aren't going your way. How are you handling that? People are looking for cues like that. They're looking for things. Hey, hi, Cat. They're looking for stuff. I'm on my phone because my computer was taking too long and I had a schedule. So we're going to be unpacking and getting out of here pretty soon. So we're not on here very long, but we're going straight on into, the whole point of things. Um, Dang, that's a delay. Did you fix your hair? Wow, it doesn't, it got a little rough around the edges. That's okay. There it is. So again, you have to how how to mail something without using your address. Um, you use a PO box. You use a PO box. I mean, that's just how it is. You mail from a PO box. You might want to get one. They're not very expensive. I mean, you can pay like $80 for a year. I don't know what mail postal places is everywhere if they're the same price, but they should be. But the thing is that yeah, you might want to just get a post office box, a PO box, because if you don't put a return mail and it doesn't get to them, then it goes nowhere. It goes to the nowhere land of the postal place. So you can get yourself a PO box, which is probably good to have. Um, and then you can use that as your address, which is fine. I mean, you could use that and have mail go there at any point, like for sure. But yeah, I would. What do you use? A PO box. I have a PO box, and then like now, some of you guys had know where I live because I've given you my address, but some of you guys don't. But that's just how that go. So that's what you want to do. Get yourself a get yourself a PO box. That works. You say you don't? Yes, you do. Well, yes, you do, because I mailed you something. Okay, anyway. So that's how that goes. So yeah, so just use a PO box. I mean, I use a PO box. So yeah. So anyway, I need to get going because I have to get a little bit up the street for the school because they are back in school all day long now, every day. So let's see how that works. School will be out pretty soon. They got a month of being in there every day. So they just need to stay safe and not stand around all their friends and be coughing and sneezing and touching each other, drinking sodas and water after each other either, and biting on each other's candy. Oh, I'll say you, yeah, I mailed that shirt to you. I don't know what address I used. I mean, I could have used the business address, but get yourself a PO box. If you're going to be mailing things to people, use a PO box, and then when it doesn't go, it will go back to your PO box, at least the return address. So that's a bright idea too. So I'm going to get going. Thank you guys for coming in here. I'll see you guys later on tonight for my bright idea Monday after dark. So see ya. Bye, Hi Cat.